Right now on News 4 at 10, a Buffalo man is behind bars tonight after a 3-hour standoff. The crimes he's being charged with and why police say he might be facing even more charges. And a very gruesome discovery. A woman finds a dead body in the back of her truck. How long it was there is just one of the questions deputies are trying to answer tonight.
Some severe thunderstorms this afternoon, especially up in Niagara and Orleans counties, brought downpours, damaging wind gusts, and especially large hail. Well, those are gone now. All's quiet tonight. I'll let you know about the weekend storm chances in your 401 forecast. News 4 at 10 starts right now.
You're watching News 4, your local news leader. Now, live from Buffalo, this is News 4 at 10.
And good evening, everyone. After an intense 3-hour standoff today near an apartment on East Ferry, police now have a Buffalo man in custody who's being charged with killing his girlfriend. News 4's Sarah Minkowitz has the latest on this morning's standoff and what police found inside the man's apartment. Sarah?
Don, Buffalo police say 24-year-old Charles Jones barricaded himself inside his apartment. 3 hours later, police discovered a dead body inside that apartment. While police investigate that, Jones is being charged in a separate death.
This is a relatively quiet neighborhood. Right next door there was a senior citizen center. So nothing much happens around here.
But that wasn't the case on Friday. Buffalo police were called to this apartment near East Ferry and Alexander Place.
I was leaving out about 9 o'clock, and I heard that the SWAT was in the neighborhood, and they was blocking the streets off. In fact, they blocked this street off. They didn't even want me to leave.
Police were trying to reach 24-year-old Charles Jones, who was in a standoff with police.
Mr. Jones proceeded to barricade himself inside of an apartment. At that time, Buffalo Police SWAT and crisis management team members were requested to respond to the scene.
A nearby resident who witnessed the standoff says, although it is a quiet neighborhood overall, he's not shocked.
Not really surprising because they was here. I knew something serious had happened. There was over 20 officers on the scene.
The standoff lasted 3 hours. That's when police found a woman's body inside the apartment. Jones was brought into custody and then charged in a separate death.
He has subsequently been charged with murder in the second degree in connection with the death of his girlfriend, 25-year-old Jaquita Lee.
Lee's body was found in her Main Street apartment last month. According to the DA, Jones faces a maximum 25 years to life in prison in connection to that murder. Buffalo police have not released the name of the female found dead inside the apartment today on East Ferry. The Erie County medical examiners will perform an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Sarah Minkowitz, News 4.
A Wayne County woman drove at least an hour and a half from east of Rochester to the town of Lockport before realizing there was a dead man in the bed of her truck. News 4's Erica Brecker explains what the Niagara County Sheriff's Office is saying tonight about this shocking discovery. Erica.
Well, Don, it's certainly not what the woman expected to find when she opened up the tailgate to her truck to kick off what was supposed to be a fun weekend. According to Sheriff James Votor, the Wayne County woman drove here to go camping. She stopped at this Tops at Wright's Corners to pick up groceries, and it's when she came out of the store to load the bags into her truck that she discovered the body and called police. First responders determined the unidentified man had been dead for some time, suggesting his body likely did not get into the truck here locally. The woman, who Votor says was understandably upset, has no idea who the man is.
It is quite bizarre at this point. You don't have identification. She has no idea what happened. But it's why we have investigators. We'll get to the bottom of it. We took fingerprints from the deceased male. We'll put those into the system to see if he's in the system.
In the meantime, the body has been sent to ECMC for an autopsy. Sheriff Votor says Wayne County deputies are canvassing the town where the woman is from, and Monroe County deputies are checking the area where the driver made one stop along her trip. They're hoping someone from one of those areas might know something or help identify the man. Erica Brecker, News 4.
After those joint practices earlier this week, the Buffalo Bills and the Panthers took the field tonight for the second matchup of the preseason. The Bills are leading 27-14 late in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen led Buffalo down the field for the first two drives of the game, and he finished the night 9 for 11 with 102 yards. LaShawn Sheedy McCoy scored his first touchdown of the preseason. We'll have the latest score updates coming up with Jenna later in sports. Well, happy TGIF. Andrew's here. We're back from the fair. Great week out there. No complaints. And then some people are dodging some raindrops, huh?
Yeah, we had actually a downpour at the Erie County Fair for about 15 minutes.
When?
Made it feel a little comfortable. About 5 minutes before you showed up.
Really?
You timed it out perfectly.
I did.
You got to stay nice and dry. Some of us, Christy and I, not as lucky. But some of these storms, especially up in Niagara and Orleans counties, were putting down not only heavy downpours, but we saw a lot of photos like this, large hail that was falling out of some of these severe thunderstorms, similar to some of the storms we saw across the southern tier yesterday. But we also have had some reports of damage from the strong wind gusts. Greg sending us this near the Waterport area in Orleans County with some trees down because of those gusty winds. So those storms really were packing a punch. All is quiet right now, though, and many areas did have a whole lot of dry time and even stayed entirely dry with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Quiet on the radar right now under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, we once again have a chance for a few isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. Very similar to what we had the past couple of days, that marginal risk across all of western New York. Quick look at your hour-by-hour forecast here. We should start the day off with a few showers rolling in around the metro. So a bit of a gloomy start. A little bit of rain across the Niagara frontier, I'd expect. Most of the heavy stuff should be in the afternoon. And at that point, the focus will shift south and east to Buffalo with some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. They should be fairly spotty. This is part of a disturbance moving on through. But again, these storms can really pack a punch. I think the worst of this activity will actually be off to the east late in the afternoon. Rochester back toward the Finger Lakes region. But again, some damaging wind gusts and some hail will once again be possible. Temperatures are pretty mild outside tonight despite some of those thunderstorms and quite muggy. And get used to this because that pattern is sticking around through the weekend into early next week. I'll let you know when it will end coming up in your full forecast. That's just a few minutes away. Don?
News 4 is your local election headquarters, and a state lawmaker from Western New York will announce tomorrow that he's running for Congress. State Senator Robert Ord will run for the seat now held by fellow Republican Chris Collins. He will join attorney Beth Parlato and fellow State Senator Chris Jacobs seeking the Republican line. Last weekend, Democratic Grand Island Supervisor Nate McMurray threw his hat into the ring. The Erie County Health Department is investigating a case of hepatitis A at a local restaurant. They say a worker at Platinum Pizza has been diagnosed with the disease. That's located on Broadway near Bailey. Officials say the employee worked at that restaurant August 8th to the 11th. All employees at the restaurant are in the process now of getting vaccinated before they return to work.
So hepatitis A usually spreads when a person unknowingly ingests the virus from food or drinks or other objects that are contaminated by just a very small, undetectable amount of stool from an infected person.
Erie County is holding vaccination clinics for anyone who ate at that restaurant during that time. Those clinics will take place at the Erie County Training and Operations Center in Cheektowaga. They'll run August 19th and 20th from 1 to 7 at night. Up next, state police searching for the driver who struck two girls walking their dog. The car they're looking for and the condition of the victims tonight.